Hi everyone, Jeremy here from Flatware Creations. I am working on fork and spoon, diet fork and spoons. Waiting for YouTube to pick this up. Alright, there we go. So a couple of things I'm doing today is I'm pretty much just going to be stamping the fork and spoons. So I've already cut out the hole. It's back reverse there. Alright, I've cut out the hole in the spoon and I've bent down the 3 fork tines, leaving only the one up for the diet part of it. And the hole that I drilled this, I used these step bits here. And what they do is they allow me to start out with a smaller hole. So I'll just put a dent in here to get my drill started, and I will drill this all the way through, and that gives me my basic hole, and then I move up to the next bit. And this one, my holes ended up being, I think it's the next step up. Yeah, it's 3 steps up. So they ended up at 3/4 inch holes. So you can see the step bit. And one of the things about this, the trick is if you're going this big with this big guy, be careful because it will twist the fork or the spoon right out of your hand. And you'll end up with flashing on the back. Anytime you do this with these step bits, any drill, you're going to have flashing on the back of this. If you take, so I drill down this way, if you flip it over and you real lightly rotate it, it will actually cut off all of that stuff, and you won't have a perfectly smooth piece, but it will be a lot smoother. It won't have the hard edges on them. So this one goes up to 1 3/8 inches. On the teaspoons, I think the teaspoons I ended here. Yeah, on the teaspoons, I ended at 5/8. Yep, so I ended that at 5/8 was all the way down. And then the same thing on the other side, just put it in and just until it grabs that flashing on there. So I did post a link to a set of bits on Amazon that I found, and I put a link on the Impress Art stamps that I'm using today. I like this. It's called Bridget pattern. It's not just your basic font. So I just posted a link for that also. They are affiliate links, so if you buy something off there, I do get a penny. Hi, random penguin. I know who you are, I think, based on your picture, possibly. So a couple of things I've done here is I've set up, so I zoomed in the camera, my other camera right into the spot. So I guess I will just bring that up and unzoom it and show you guys what I have set up here. So one of the things I've done is I've taken, as they come out, they're side by side, they come out in 3s. So I have A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on. These are lower than these, so it helps me keep them separated. And another thing I've done is I've put a marker on them and put the letter on there. Why isn't that focusing? Because I shut off autofocus. There we go. So what that allows me to do is if I put this with the black facing me, I know that my stamp is correct. So we'll be using this. I am going to stamp it a little bit differently. I found it a little easier for me to stamp. I found it a little easier to stamp in this direction. I haven't had hardly any mess ups with it, and it's been a lot faster for me. So I've got these all separated. They're all I can see all of the letters, and that allows me to move fast. This is just a magnetic strip that I got from Harbor Freight. I don't have another one close to me, I don't think. No, and I didn't think about it, so I didn't put it in the links. But it's just a magnetic strip that I just screwed into my bench. It's got a screw here and a screw on the other side. Okay. Let's see. I did find that, let me bring this up a little bit. I will just bring you to me. Hi, how are you? We'll get this guy down. Okay, so you have your teaspoons and your smaller forks, and then you have your larger tablespoon and dinner fork. I like to use the smaller ones. They're just easier. These guys aren't a whole lot harder, but the hole doesn't look proportionate to me, and if I try and go deeper with that step bit, it gets a little grabby and it wants to turn your spoon into this. And there's an example of the flashing that you get on the back. Yeah, and it gets really grabby. On the inside, you can see those big cutouts. There we go. Like right here, there's a big cutout, and it just gouges in so far. It's actually hard. And this was in my rig that I built, and it still got destroyed. Where'd I put that? My shop is such a mess. I did start cleaning on it today though, so that's good. I can't find the thing. I'm thinking about making one to be able to just have it, and anybody else who wanted it. I mean, it's easy to make your own, but if I can make something and make something easier for somebody, we'll do that. So 2 sizes. Today, depending on how fast I go, I'm going to try and get these done, but I'm pretty much just going to be hanging out and working and trying to answer your comments. Oh yeah, the damage is crazy. It can really, whenever this thing goes around, it can spin right out of your hand, and I have had it come around and had the handles cut me in the fingers or in the wrist. So got it down like this, and it comes around and it actually hits over here. And no, yeah, and in the drill press, the same thing. Even with it going down through the board, it would still sometimes catch and just rip it right around. So yeah, very dangerous. And this is kind of after I flattened it out. Hi, honey. No, I did not. Huh? Okay. Jamie says, hi, random penguin. I think it's Aubrey. I'm pretty sure, based on the picture.
Random penguin?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so let's get this started. I'm gonna get this put back down here and try and get this set back up. She says hello. I had it set here because it took me a minute. Yeah, I thought it was. Your picture is about a 1/4 inch tall, but I was pretty sure I was correct. All right, so we're gonna get you in here. Okay. Get it adjusted for focus. Okay. We'll get that cut off. And I think we are ready to start. So, oops, another thing I did was my dyslexia. I have to go through and spell the word every single time. I have to spell the words out so that I can get the next letter because I do them backwards. So that's the order in which I make my diet spoon and diet fork. So that's one tip. So I just look at this and I know that my first letter for a diet spoon is an N, O, O, P, S, and so on. And I just put that right here because I've already messed that up twice today. So this is something I just started doing today. So, and it was helping. That's funny. All those new penguin cults. Okay, so I've got everything up there. I can see the comments, and you guys want to see the stamping. So let's get you, no. Boom. There we go. I've got my press here set up to where when I have a stamp in, that my arm pressure, I have the most leverage right here, and it's not hurting my shoulder or my elbow by pulling out or being up too high and trying to do this. So that's all set. Okay, so we're gonna do the spoons first, and we're gonna start with N. So normally I would face this with the black and the letter facing me, and I'd put it in here. There's just a magnet here. Let's see, I can't quite see. There we go. All right, it was nice of you to hop on. Have fun at the vets. So, but what I'm going to do, the magnet's strong, is instead of having it towards me, I found out it's been a lot easier if I turn it away from me. So the stamp is actually going to stamp the letter this way. So going that way. And because I'm starting at the last, it allows me to put my letter right where I want it. And I want to change this setting here. Where did it go? I want to get you guys focused in a little bit better. I think that's probably it. Okay. But I have this part. No. It keeps hitting me the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. So I can put it right where I want it. I know how far down the letter's going to go, and I don't have to start up really high. There's my N. The N doesn't really leave a deep impression for me. So I put a little bit more pressure on that. Again, making sure that my black lettering or my face is to the side. Because we're doing vertical letters, it is a lot easier. If I had to do it going sideways, I don't know if this way would really work. It probably would, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. So we have our O in there. 1, 2, and I'm just moving the block. This is the block that comes with the 3D press system. P. All right, I'm moving the magnet up. Get up there. Okay. One of the things that this has really helped me with has been the spacing of my letters. Yes. Always double check because I hate to stamp something wrong. All right, so there we have our spoon. And everything looks pretty good. I'll take now, can I get in here? And I'm going to take my fine tip Sharpie and go in through the letters. And basically we're leaving the ink, trying to leave the ink in the letters, in the indentation. I've taken big black permanent markers and gone over these. And then just wipe everything off with alcohol. I'll show you that for the top part. But there's our spoon. And so what I would normally do is I would do all of my letters at once, and then all of my I do them for all of the spoons, and then I would do them for the top part, the diet part. But for the first one, I know a lot of people don't hang around for a lot of these lives, so we're gonna start and get this first one done. So we need K first. And we get to place that right where we want it. I want it just above that leaf. And another thing you'll see more of what did I just do? I used a H instead of a K. All right, let's see if we can salvage this. So there's my H. So I'm going to see if I can make it a K. No, it doesn't need to be a K. It needs to be a T. Diet. T is first. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that. Make that stamp really deep. Okay, so I'm gonna, needs to be a T. I'm gonna highlight the T here. So you can see the T. Now I'm gonna put it on the buffer for just a second. I want to see if I add more to this, if it is going to show up. All right, what this does is, what I'm doing there is I'm putting this material, the polishing or buffing compound, is filling up everything around the T. And I want to see, I'm just checking to see if it looks too bad. Yeah, I've still got a decent T in there. All right, now we're going to E. See, I told you, I need to write it down. I even wrote it down, but I did the wrong one, because instead of the diet spoon, oh, I'm looking at it, you guys can't see it. Instead of the diet spoon, I went to the K here instead of T here. Oh, it never ends. All right, so who do we got in here? We have E. D-I-E-T. Now we need the I. And it's nice because they just pop out. They slide right off the bar. I do know that Flatwareables makes a stamp board. So if you have a lot of stamps, she has an amazing board that's customizable, has a ton of different sizes and spaces. All right, so can you see how warped this is? So that's one of the big problems. Hi, Kareem. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take you guys over with me. Let's unfocus this, or unzoom it. We're gonna come over to the press, or not press, but the vise. Like I said, my workspace is just insane right now. I use this brown board paneling. After a while of banging on it, it gets this little indention in here. Don't know if I can show it to you guys, but anyways, this middle part here is a little lower than the rest. So I'm going to take my nylon mallet I've got to figure out this camera system. Okay, sorry if that made everyone sick. And you can see it's just bent up here. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the tip of my mallet just down through that part. And I like to put it on my anvil. Make sure you don't go too far over to the edge. You see how the shadow is built up there? So there shouldn't be any shadow because you don't want to mark up the back here. So we're going to go right here to where it's pretty much flat and just double check that it's flat. Now we have a nice straight piece again. So let's get this to say diet. I'm going to use this time, I'm going to use my big marker here. This is how I used to do all of them. And I'm just going to take and let all that ink run down in there and fill up those holes. Let's see, I have, this is 91% alcohol. You don't have to get this strong. I normally use like this the 70. But I'm just going to put it on shirt here. And I'm just going to wipe it right off. And this is really going to let me know if that tee's going to stand out or not. So the tee is questionable. Let me look at it in a few minutes. I'm just gonna set it over here. And it's gonna be the same thing for the fork. So if you don't have the time to stick around, that's gonna be the same process. I like to go with the method with the smaller Sharpie. Then I like this method. It's more consistent, and normally I end up going back over this anyways. I'm shaking a lot today, so I've got a lot of anchor points here. There we go. Now we got a better diet there. And I forgot to mention earlier, after I cut these out and I take my my little Dremel drum to the inside of it, I just toss them in the tumbler. And tossing them in the tumbler really made a big difference when I was I used to have to spend 5 or 6 minutes trying to get these rounded out and smooth. I just, as an experiment, tossed them in my tumbler. So I have the Frankfurt Arsenal tumbler. There we go. This is the big one. I just tossed them in there and they came out really smooth. I don't have to do anything else to these guys. So that's great. Awesome. So I'm going to go to work. I have to get a bunch of these done quick, fast, and in a hurry because I have a couple that need to go out. So I'm gonna be watching for your comments, but other than that, I'm pretty much just gonna go into production mode and get some work done. So if you hop on now, thank you. Oh, and if you haven't been here before, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. It is a live, so it is going to be really long, especially since I'm just working. But I appreciate you coming and for leaving a comment. So thank you very much. All right, let's get back to here. I'll get you guys down there and you'll be able to, I'm going to give you just a space where you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to make me a lot smaller. Charger cables everywhere. I cycle through the headphones, so I've always got another set charging. I have 3 today that died on me. So I have one more set back here, and that set I just showed you. Oh, hi, Gus. Come on, you can say hi. You can say hi. You can say hi to everyone on YouTube. Are you going to help me stamp? Are you going to work today? Yeah? All right. Well, let's get to work. I have no idea what's in here. It's a D. Okay, now I can't say anything. Your mama wasn't a glass maker, Gus. All right. See you later. Bye. Okay. Right now he's on the back of my chair. Okay. Where are you going? So we are working on just spoons right now. Okay, I have to start working now. So we're going with N. Where's the N? The N is right there. Another thing you want to check is make sure that your screws up here, these screws right here, make sure that they're not loose. This bar shouldn't be free swinging, so whenever your stamp comes down, it shouldn't do a lot of moving. Come on, Gus, move. I can't work. You can just lay down, buddy. My little helper. So just go down. This way I'm only changing out the stamps once, so I can get a lot of these stamped. And I do everything in batches. It's real easy to get backed up if you're just doing one piece. So say somebody buys this set on Etsy or on our website, and or on Facebook now, and so I make one, and then say I have an extra one. Well, the other one sells, now I need to make another one, and instead of getting in the process and getting this all set up again, I just make a whole bunch at one time, and I'm able to not have to worry about it, and that allows me to have other jobs, other things I could be working on. Where's my O's? And I basically rotate everything from this side to this side to this side. Okay. You gonna lay down, buddy? At one point I've tried making let's go up a little bit further. Say I had the different or same letter for different words, I would try and do both, but I would always get the placement of one of the words wrong and I wouldn't have enough room. Every once in a while I forget to look up, make sure everything's in place and focused. Okay. Watch out, buddy. I need to move my mouse. There we go. And since I started lining this up with the stamp going the other direction, I've had a lot better stampings. It's hard to get the leverage I need with him right here. I did take the arm off of this Arbor Press. I got it from Harbor Freight. I got 1/2 inch breaker bar, and that's what I used to make this handle. Thank you a lot. Sorry I have to go. Ciao. Thanks for stopping by, Kareem. I appreciate it. Okay, Gus, you gotta move. So I made the breaker bar. I cut the end off of it, and it fits right in the hole that the arm does, but it gave me an extra couple of inches, which gives me more torque, more pressure. And you can see I took, and this is all sports tape, so this is, I just keep all my extra forming pieces up here, but this is over 1 inch thick. Basically, I made it to where my fingers don't touch my palm, so I don't have to worry about coming in too much, and it's not splitting me so far apart that I can't grab it. But this has helped a lot in being able to make everything as friendly to my body as I can. And for me, stamping like this has been so much easier than trying to hold and hammer. So I didn't get as nice of an indentation. Oh, I shut that off. As nice of an indentation on this 1/0. So what I'm going to do, focus back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that O that I just did, and I'm going to find it and feel it line up here, and then I'm going to bring it down so everything's lined up there. And I didn't double stamp it, which has always been a huge problem for me, getting these things back in place and not double stamping. All right, we are on to P. The other nice part is if I can't quite read them, I can see the letter, or the letters that are next to them. So get my spacing, shut the autofocus off so you guys aren't going blurry. You just want to make sure that you get a good indentation for the ink to be able to sit in. And if this was something like that was on the spoon bowl or the portion that was going to get eaten, I wouldn't use the permanent marker. You could use liver of sulfur, which is a blackening agent. You can use eggshells. They'll give a patina like that. There's lots of different ways that you can fill in these holes without having to use permanent marker. If these start to bend too far on you, they're going to make it to where the stamp wants to slide. So you can just take your mallet, and just give them a tap to bring them right back. Let's see, got all those. S. Today's episode is sponsored by the letter S. Another thing that I used to be really worried about was placement. Getting them all perfectly straight. But what I found was a lot of times those little imperfections are what people really liked about it. So I pretty much stopped worrying about it. I like to have my letters spaced similarly, and I mean, be close, but being perfect every time, for me, it doesn't it doesn't work. So I get my spacing right, and the spacing part was a big thing for me, especially sideways. Once I went to sideways, my spaces got a lot more uniform, just a lot more even, whereas before they'd be like right on top of each other or way off to the side. All right, we're on to diet, so we need the T. Give myself some space so it's definitely a different word. Just make sure I get a good stamp on those. These larger ones are easier, but so this is one of the smaller teaspoons. You don't have quite so much room to work with, and you want to make sure that you get it in a spot that's going to really show off the stamp. The T leaves a really good impression, so I'm just one-handing that until I start to get tired later. It looked like the T was going to be too close. Definitely want them 2 words. And another thing, if your stamp and your spoon is getting too close to the edge, just move your stamp back and you'll be able to have more flat surface from here to here. Looking for the E. So a lot of times after doing this, what I'll do is I'll give myself a little break and I'll fill in these letters. That gives my arm a little break from being up, and then with the pressure. So when you guys are working, what kind of music are you guys listening to or have playing in the background? Put that over just a touch. One of the things I wish was easier is I watch YouTube a lot on my TV, so I'm not able to type. I wish there was a way to like use your controller to type or leave an emoji or something. Well, you can leave a thumbs up if you like the video. I have no idea how the algorithm works or whatever. Oh, arm's getting tired. Hi, Mom. All right, that was the E. Now we're on to the I, not an H, and we need an I. I'm like, where's the I? All right, and these are all capitals. The capitals are always just easier for me to read, so I feel it's easier for others as well. But they have the upper and the lowercase in this pattern. I think they had a set on Amazon and it was $30 some odd. I got this set with a lot of tools that I bought a year or so ago. It just came with a few little few different sets of stamps. And I did put the links for the one on Amazon that I found. That is the same set that I'm using. I can't wait for that D. Then I can take a break. Battery is running low. I should probably plug the laptop in. So I'm going to unplug this one. Plug in the laptop. Whew! Laptop's more important. Probably unplug my phone. Yep. That's okay though. Before I started, it was like 3%. Now it's at 74%, so it will keep my radio going for quite a while. All right, we're on to the D. I normally have either some country running in the background. I listen to a lot of dubstep, techno kind of stuff because there's not a whole lot of words. It allows my brain to just, if you think of classical music, like Beethoven and things like that, you hear the orchestra in the background, and you have all those different instruments creating all the different sounds. And it kind of, what it allows me to do with the dubstep and techno stuff is that is an orchestra, or kind of, it's a ton of different instruments, ton of different sounds, and it basically makes my brain slow down, and it takes the music, just kind of makes it so that I can, I don't know, it might sound weird, see clearly. It's like the project that I'm working on right now, I can be focused on it, which helps me like just kind of stay in the zone longer. My brain doesn't get so tired. Whew. All right, I'm gonna make myself a little bigger here. Change this to focus. All right. So first I'm going to go straighten all of these. But it slows my brain down, basically. Where'd the other one go? So you can see a little high spot right there. There we go, that's better. So this brown board is just a piece of flat paneling, basically. You can find it in the paneling department of your Lowe's or whatever kind of store you have near you, Home Depot. Somebody just bought some the other day. They bought a 4x8 sheet for like $11. There. They're not very expensive, and generally you can have them cut it there. My anvil is 4 inches. So I cut these out 4 inches by 4 inches. So if you got them, I think she got them cut down to foot strips. That way she could take it home and then not have to cut up so much. I just had this laying around from another project. When I first started using it, I think this is probably, I don't know, I'm at least 60 of these that I've destroyed. Whenever you use a spoon on them to flatten it out, which is why most of them got destroyed. Timber. I got my headphones on, so something just crashed. Can't quite tell. One more? Yep, one more. That nice and flat. So you've got this, and then I was using my dead blow hammer. This guy here. This is a 1.5 pounder. I do have these linked in the description, but you can kind of see how the spoon is on there, and you flatten it out. Come on. Sorry. You can kind of see how that's adjusting. You can see how it's already pushing this out. And it just leaves an impression. And that's how this all gets dug out. With leather also, I don't think I have one of the leather pieces that I cut out. Oh, here we go. That one's wood, this one's leather. So I do the same thing. This is thick leather, like belt size thick. I use that, I think it's actually thicker than the wood. Yeah, it's just a touch thicker than the wood. But after hammering on it for a while, it will create an indentation, and I would use that also to be able to get these correct. I mean, it doesn't even need an indentation because you can make that with just by focusing the spot. And now I have a little raise right there. So it's just from using the leather, but it needs to be pretty thick. I got my leather from a guy in Burlington, actually. He does a lot of leather working, like saddles and that kind of thing. Yeah, my hand needs a break. Let's see. Where'd my pen go? That's the big one. Oh, it's right next to my finger. Okay. Okay, so I can do that. There we go. I've got everything up on the screen now. So I'm just going to go through Get it zoomed or focused. Okay. All right, so now you guys can see what I'm doing. And I do go through a fair bit of these pens. I don't buy them in bulk yet. So something really funny about these, I made one for a customer. They showed me a picture and said, could you make this for me? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And it turned into our #1 selling product on our Etsy shop. So there we got our diet spoon. So just because I want to, and I want to keep them separated, I'm going to toss these guys in the tumbler as I finish them. It's going to give me more space on my bench. Shaking. And I'll toss them in the tumbler for probably, or toss them on the tumbler, probably 20 minutes or so. Stop shaking. The tumbler is also going to get off any of this extra stuff that's on here that's not down in the letter, the stamping. Some days I'll just have classical music playing or new age music, just something in the background, just keep my head distracted. It's probably ADD or something like that. Don't know. I just know what helps me to focus, what helps me to be able to sit here and do this. My favorite part is the creation part, where I have to figure out how to engineer something. That's why I liked working with the stones and the forks so much, trying to figure out how to get the fork to do what I wanted it to do. Those probably took me about the longest of anything. Hey, Pepe Tools has a sale. Sorry, random ad on my phone. Forgot what I was saying. So this will give me a little break, and then I'll get to go and finish up the forks. And then once the forks are done and in the tumbler, I don't have to make any for a little bit, and I get to finish bud vases today. So I'll be doing a whole bunch of soldering and bending the spoons around today. I see that I only have like 9 spoons that are bent and ready for the to start being soldered. I really like this pattern. I mean, these stamps fit in there perfectly. I can't see on the package because there's nothing left, but I think they're around 1/4 inch, maybe. I know they're not big, and I know they're not tiny. Change that over to inches. So they're definitely not 1/4 inch. Do they measure from the side or from the depth? So they're about 3.75 millimeters ish. This one is done. Shaky, shaky, shaky. So I set it to where during these live streams you can post later on or as you're watching it, and I can try to remember everything that went on. But if you guys have questions or anything, just drop me a comment. I was trying to get back to everybody. So after I finish these and my my bud vase order, I'm gonna start working on the dragonfly for our 2,500 subscribers prize. I'm going to try and figure out how to get a master list of the names that are subscribed. I don't know how to do that. That way everyone who's subscribed has a chance to win. But it might be kind of hard to get a hold of some of the people, because the only way I have to get a hold of them is through YouTube. If I go to their channel, and I know some people start channels and don't always keep up with them. So I want somebody who will really enjoy the piece. So I might just do a drawing like last time. Have you guys put your name in for the drawing. That way you guys that follow me or watch some of my live streams or my videos, I'm probably going to give about 2 weeks for people to voice in, because it looks like after 2 weeks the comments start to die down on most of my videos. Today it's rock music in my head. I love being able to skip. Come on. Getting too far away from my anchor point. Shaking. Sometimes too is if your stamp doesn't get a super depth, it my marker just slips right out of it. This hand's starting to cramp. So filling in the letters for these diet fork and spoons. We just finished stamping the spoons. We're going to go to stamping the forks after this. Our spoons are diet because they have a hole in them. I'm pretty sure that I would still be able to eat ice cream to a degree. There we go. Toss that in the tumbler. We got 2 more after this one, and then we can start on the diet forks. And the diet forks, I bent down 3 of the tines. I could probably still do pretty good with 1 tine. I don't eat peas, so I won't have that problem. Unless they're like peas that are really flat you get from the garden. Snow peas possibly. But almost there. The detail work for me is so hard for some things. So making Zoe's ring, that was a trial of patience, endurance, and just overcoming the every hour defeat as that thing kicked my butt. But I learned a lot. So if you hop on, say hi. See a couple more people hopped on. I'm using black Sharpie pen. I've used it enough that all the words are gone. It's just a fine point permanent marker in black that I'm using to fill in here. If it was on the spoon bowl or something that the person was actually going to be eating off of, I would use a different method. But this one works great for being on the handles. All right, last spoon. Yeah, some of the songs that come on are just crazy. It's like, nope. It's like, I'll give you a shot for a couple of seconds, but then it turns into something I don't want, or something that's just a lot of profanity. I don't need that in my head. Sit here and have some shop therapy, listen to music, talk to you guys. So I have started, yay, I started a TikTok channel. And that allowed me to make some cool little videos, and have another creative outlet. The hard part is I can't sit there and just talk with everybody, like go live until I have over 1,000 subscribers there, and I'm like, I've worked long and hard to get YouTube going. I'll hang out with you guys. I enjoy hanging out with you guys and being able to keep these videos. I know a lot of people use them afterwards to be able to go back and watch something again. Or on TikTok, I haven't been able to see that kind of in-depth kind of stuff. All right, are we ready for forks? Woo! Let's go forks. So you'll notice that I have some forks that have had the fork tines bent over, and then I have some that haven't. What I do, the easiest way for me is I have this big piece of stainless, and then I have this square block that came from Flatware. Get those put back where I need them. So what I do is normally I use the other end, this top section here. But I have cut this down, and I could probably just use it, but I'd rather use this piece. I'm going to bring this right over to where the edges are together. Come on. Oh, it's hanging to the magnet. All right, so what that allows me to do is put these guys under here. I get my square line. It's a little bit further. And that allows this tine here to kind of drop down. So I'm going to put a little pressure with my left hand, and I'm going to push up till that hits. So now we've got our forks like this. Let me turn the autofocus back on for a second. I'm going to take a pair of flat nose pliers. Let me unzoom you. I'm going to take my flat nose pliers, and if I do it right, I normally end up with the end of the flat nose pliers being the end of the line. Make sure you just get one tine. So now we're bent a little bit more. I will take, once I get that second bend in here, we'll go over to the vise or anvil or whatever you need. And I'm going to hit these down strategically so you can kind of see where they're wanting to go. I want to make sure that this one here goes to the inside a little bit, and this guy here is probably good where he's at. But I want to send this one this direction. So now we've got everything touching here. I'm going to use the foot of my mallet and I'm going to hit right here. I want to keep my loops, but I want to hit right here, and I want to keep my tines against the fork. So the fork tines are all down, nice and flush, and I have loops here, so there's no hard spots, nowhere for the fork to break. And I didn't get a bunch of scratches up here from trying to bend it over and just fold it on itself. So that's how I do those. And you can't see any tool marks at all, which is awesome. Anytime we don't have tool marks, I'm a happy camper. Bring you guys up here. All right. I should probably bend these all now before because I'm going to start tossing them in the tumbler without it being done. Slide that magnet up. You could probably also do this. I'm just sticking it all the way to the back of the pliers. Yep, so we're just going to do that right now. So I'm going to bring it back over here. And get you guys to stop auto-focusing. Okay, into the mess. And then you figure it out and OCD takes over. Then I have to think even less. So the only tool marks that there are on here are on the inside. They're on the inside of the tines here. What was I using that method for with the press? Oh, for the other hearts. The hearts that two forks become one heart, and they kind of cross over each other. That's what I use for this method also. A lot of times I have to do it at a certain place on the fork, so it doesn't quite work out the same way. So I'm here again. I need this guy to go in just a touch. Come down, guys. See, these all popped up on me. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to hit my fork tines. I'm going to hit them right here, right on this edge, and try and get them to drop down. So it worked a little bit. That helped. There we go. See, this fork tine is getting off the edge here. Go. That one did what it was supposed to. skip. And once you find a rhythm, just keep going and things start to speed up. So this one goes down just a touch. Come on. There we go. Oh, my arms are weak today. Okay. All right, on to stamping our diet forks. Get rid of this big block. I've got my cheat sheet right here. For those of you that just started watching, I found it easier to do my stamping in reverse. With the silverware, a lot of times you only have so much space, and it's just easier for me to go in reverse and start at the end, and then I can go up. Normally you have a pattern that allows you to go way up, but if you start a D right here, by the time you get down here, you're not going to have enough room for all the letters for spoon. So if I start from the backwards, I know I have enough room because I'll just keep going right up the stem. So these are diet forks, Croft Tide. All right, so we're starting with K. We'll get that guy there. I have these set up so I can see the letters, and I'm turning them sideways. I can bring my magnet down a little bit. So my letter is actually facing that direction, which is the correct direction because I'm doing this sideways. So my fork is here. All my letters are going to go up this way, facing that direction. Okay. Whew. Almost had a panic attack. Did I do the H again? That's twice today on camera. Whew. H. All right, let's see if we can turn it into a K. Is that a good indentation? We're gonna mark this one up right now to see if it's good or if I have to scrap this. Definitely got a good impression there. It's a K. Saved it. Yeah, that looks good too. You can't tell it was an H at all. All right. Now that we have the correct letter, let's get this going. I can't believe that. That was twice today. Give myself a little bit more room. So these guys are just fun to make. But like I said earlier, whenever I make something, I make a bunch of them so that I can have time to focus on other projects or other orders. And by starting last, I can make sure that this last letter is in the perfect spot that I want the word to end. Which is a really bit of a freedom after you've been stamping for a while. Huh? Yeah. I'm just hanging out. What's up? Mm-hmm.
And so I messaged her and I said I was assuming it was a glitch with the update because I was like, why on earth was she calling me?
Mm-hmm.
And she wrote back and she said, I'm sorry that you missed the call, but I just wanted to tell you that I'm proud of you and for your effort or something like that. And I was like,
that's nice.
Who takes the time? Like, how does she even know my name? Let alone, you know. So, you can't come in with me, but I think you're gonna need to drive me.
Okay. Oh, is that now?
No, it's like in 25, 30 minutes.
Okay. So I forgot I have to take my wife to the doctor's today. So I'm all fuzzy. What's going on? So we got our diet forks. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for a little bit. I really appreciate all the thumbs ups and the subscriptions. I have the Dragonfly is the winner of the 2,500 subscribers giveaway. So I will be figuring out how to do that and deciding on which one I want to go with. It will be a pendant. I know that much for sure. So it's not going to be giant, but I still want it to be cool. So I have a few different versions I'm going to go through. And I'm going to not do that one live so that I can edit it down and just get the highlights and the parts where everybody's interested in. And I will start a poll, not a poll. I might start might have a post where everybody who wants to enter can enter their name in. I'll look into a couple different other ways to do it, but this is for all you guys who follow me on here on YouTube. So that's in the works and coming up. Are you gonna say bye? Do you want to say bye, Gus? Gus, you want to say bye? Come on, come on, hurry up before I gotta go. Are you coming up? Come on. All right. So Gus says bye. You want to say bye? Say bye? No, you want to just snuggle. You should see him with my phone. Watch this. Gus, look. phone. Let's move the phone over here. Gus. I've got the phone. I've got the phone. Did that for like 15 or 20 minutes the other day. I just kept moving the phone around. That's my Gus. Alright, I'm going to see you guys later. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you guys all next time. Where's the button?